Religion is something that I've always been interested in. It's been a shadow over my life because my mom's family is very devout Catholics, and my dad has been forced to go to church since he was a kid. But they stepped away from religion, and my question is, why do people do that? You were raised a certain way, why do you suddenly doubt the things that you were taught about growing up? So these are some classic pieces of art. This is the Creation of Adam, censored, and this is The Last Supper and The Original Sin. Now I picked two classic pieces and a modern piece just to show that religion has had an influence in art for a very long time. I figured that it would be the best media just because religion is so old. So the two books that I picked, well, I didn't pick, Shinborn picked because he kind of knows what he's doing, maybe a little bit, are The Power and the Glory and Wise Blood. And I picked them because, I don't know, I kind of went into this project blind, so decided to roll with it, and we ended up coming up with something, which is amazing in my little opinion there. So the first book that I read was The Power and the Glory, and basically what happens is that it takes place in this alternate reality where religion is outlawed, and our main character is a priest, so the government, not science, is like sweeping religion under the rug, that kind of thing, and murdering all the priests, which is pretty dark. And yeah, basically it sums up the plot. So our main character, like I said, is an outlaw because he is a Catholic priest. Now, as he's running throughout the entire book, he goes to these places that he's been through his life and meets these people and is reminded of his faith. And I think that in both of these books, there's two parts to every character. So the first part in this, we see him shy, scared to practice, that kind of thing. But as he moves on, he starts doing confessions in villages that he goes to. He starts offering communion in the morning and like that kind of thing. So I think he starts to develop more humility. And because of this, at the end of the book, he does get executed, but a little boy thinks of him as a hero at the end because he's standing up and being himself. The second book that I read was Flannery O'Connor's Wise Blood. Now this book was kind of more difficult for me to understand, but basically the main character, which is who we're going to focus on, goes from being religious to an atheist to religious again. But it's this huge drastic turn of events, right? And so in the beginning of the book, he comes back from war. Now, from coming back from war, he's lonely because his family's dead, doesn't have any place to go. He thinks, if I have a soul and God is real, why would God want me to go through this? So where's your God now? And he moves to this city and starts preaching about anti-Jesus and like all these things and standing on top of his car, and he's super passionate about it. Then this thing happens, and this cop tricks him into pushing his car off a cliff, and it's a long story, and that sounds kind of dumb, but he basically turns into a martyr. He starts putting glass and stones in his shoes and walking around and wearing barbed wire around his chest to try to repent for his sins. He ended up killing someone. He ended up like murdering, trying to corrupt all these Christian women, you know. So basically, I figured out that the theme between the two books was that both characters stepped away, ended up coming back. And I think that's kind of extraordinary how life manages to throw everything at us all at once. And I guess what your job is to figure out what to do with it.